Plaintiff Wood stood up and testified that Maricopa County Republican Committee has absolutely no authority over Legislative District 3. What she was in essence saying, Your Honor, is that the state of Arizona is completely independent and the federal government has no control over it. And a review, Your Honor, of the United States Constitution shows that to be completely untrue and unsupported by the law. And the same, Your Honor, applies to this very case. Legislative districts in the state of Arizona, Your Honor, are not just created by legislative fiat or decree. In fact, ARS 16823A, Your Honor, very clearly uses the term may when it says that political parties that qualify for the ballot may create legislative districts. And the testimony before this court, as well as in Zarni v. MCRC, showed that there are 2 counties in the state of Arizona that rely on these legislative districts because of their size and the overwhelming nature of trying to manage over 4,000 political precinct committeemen. And so, chaos, that one word, Your Honor, these bylaws are written in a way to prevent exactly that from taking place. And so these bylaws have been in place in Maricopa County since March 4 of 1950, Your Honor. They have been debated since that point in time. This relationship between legislative districts and the county party has evolved over time. But when we look at these operative bylaws, Your Honor, it becomes very clear that legislative districts are created by these very bylaws. The state of Arizona also saw fit, the state legislature, to ensure that if you use legislative districts to organize your county, that those district chairmen serve on the district or the county committee. And those are ex officio members of the Maricopa County Committee. And that would be Michelle Ruglowski sitting here right now, Your Honor. She serves on the Maricopa County Executive Committee, the EGC, as the ex officio member representing Legislative District 3. And so it's these bylaws, Your Honor, that get rid of what we have as, or what we might otherwise know as chaos. The Arizona legislature, Your Honor, unless you're a communist, it didn't really have a whole lot to say about political parties. Maybe it drafted 10 statutes, and my esteemed counsel here, Mr. Lasota, was arguing basically that that entire body of law should apply to the parties. That was a legislative decision to not apply that entire body of law to the political parties, Your Honor. Because political parties are inherently political animals, and that is why they are allowed to govern themselves to a large extent, absent, of course, a violation of the law. Now, this court, when it issued its order, at least from my client's perspective at the time, that the March 2023 meeting that was called by the MCRC did not violate Arizona law. It's that ruling, Your Honor, that is key and that is critical here, because it is the political parties who work through their bylaws to avoid this chaos. And that's exactly what the MCRC did. And that's exactly what Michelle Ruglowski does now, serving on the MCRC EGC, is avoiding that chaos because we have elected representation in Legislative District 3. And so because that election, which was called specifically to allow the members, the voting body of LD3, to determine whether or not they wanted to even hold a new election in the first place, Your Honor. It's that elected leadership that came out of the yes answer to accept the agenda. It's that elected leadership, Your Honor, that serves as elected leadership for Legislative District 3 for all purposes, for any and all purposes, whether it be sitting as a member of the EGC, whether it be filing as a political party with the Arizona Secretary of State to do their required financial reports, or whether it be calling the district meeting. It's all bundled in one, Your Honor. And that's why I have continually, or one reason I have continually made the argument that neither I nor my client should have been here for the last 2 days. With respect to everything this court has heard, there has been nothing that has been heard that would change the outcome of the Zarni, the MCR matter, Your Honor. That would change the outcome to say, as this court reiterated earlier today, that the March 2023 election called by the MCRC did not violate Arizona law. And for that reason, Your Honor, this entire side of the room, marched from that point on to have one of the most significant Republican Party turnouts in Maricopa County history in a very long time. They took that ruling, Your Honor. They allowed Ms. Zarni to run her political action committee, and they went to work. There was no chaos because that election did not violate Arizona law, Your Honor. With respect to everything that happened in the interim between the December 2022 election and the election that was called by MCRC for March 2023. All of that, Your Honor. My clients brought the current Maricopa County Republican Committee chairman before this court to testify as to what he knew about the issue and how he resolved the issue. My client brought the first vice chair, two exceptionally busy people this time of year, as they are preparing for all of these meetings that are getting ready to be held so that the bottom can elect the top of the party leadership, Your Honor. The plaintiffs, Your Honor, could very easily have called Mickey Nyland rather than relying on her emails to political constituents. They very easily could have called the former chairman of the Arizona GOP. Both of these individuals could have shown up if they were so interested in this issue, but neither were present to be cross-examined. If you look at the evidence that's before this court, Your Honor, you see an email that was provided to you that says, I think. But we have provided this court with an audio recording of Mickey Nyland moving to suggest that Legislative District 3 do the exact same thing that Legislative District 11 was recommended to do, and did, by the way, which included holding new elections. The minutes of that meeting are on record before that court. These are official acts as opposed to acts of individuals acting on their own behalf. And the only thing that should really matter to this court, Your Honor, are those official acts, because the party is not an I. Chairman Berlin did a phenomenal job. But there's more than Chairman Berlin. There's Chairman Rugloski. And then under Chairman Rugloski, there's a vice chair, there's a secretary, there's a treasurer, and there are hundreds of precinct committeemen that these folks are responsible for organizing. So yes, Your Honor, chaos. This court's decision in Czarny v. MCRC, stating that the March 2023 election did not contravene state law, ended this matter once and for all, because it's the party's job to resolve these issues, which gets me back to the statutes. Again, Your Honor, the Arizona legislature has saw fit to draft hundreds of statutes stating who can be a registered voter in the state of Arizona and who cannot be a registered voter in the state of Arizona. Hundreds of statutes dealing with how we're going to have elections and how we are going to allow candidates and individuals to challenge those elections. The Arizona legislature stopped there, Your Honor. They stopped there. And they